There were no votes taken in executive session. Correspondence? No.
Correspondence? No.
No correspondence. Superintendent's report.
Public comments?
Public comments on agendas, items 6 to 11. None. Superintendent's report.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. On the superintendent's report for this evening, we have an update on school facilities. We continue to work with our architectural firm and RIDE. We have some updates, and I'm going to turn that over to Mr. McNamee. Thank you.
Okay, we have on the new construction, as most people know, there are no more schools at Stephen Only or McGuire, so those have been pretty much demolished.
Thanks for the heads up, John.
And we are presently going through the schematic designs, doing value engineering on them. The initial per square foot cost was a little bit higher than what we had in our budget, so we're hoping that probably within the next week we'll have some revised square footage numbers which we can take to the building committee to go through on the schematics for the new construction. On the health and safety, we have completed the roof at Wayland. We have the roof at Ritchie probably about 75–80% done. We have the roof at Greystone, Centerdale, and so Wayland's done. So Greystone and Centerdale's in Birchwood. Those roofs will be going out for bid probably within the next month, and they will be scheduled to be done at the beginning of next summer. We also have looked at this roof. We have some savings on the roof at Ritchie, and some of the other roofs are not going to be what we thought they were going to be costing us. So we're going to be able to do the roof here at the high school, which we had initially taken out of our health and safety because of budget concerns. So it looks like we're going to be able to get this roof done, and the roofer has indicated doesn't think it's going to make the winter, so we're going to probably do that within the next 2 months. We should have it designed, and we'll put it up for bid probably within the next 30 to 45 days, and get that complete. In the meantime, we asked on the other health and safety in terms of HVAC air exchange. We're looking at those projects, and we're hoping that we'll get those all designed over the next 6 months, and that work will be all done next summer. So I'm hoping that most of the health and safety will be done next summer, and the building project, which is still on track, we're hoping, we're targeting now a June 2019 completion for the 2 new schools.
Excuse me, John, Gina Picard has a question.
Actually, I'm glad that the principal of Wayland is here. It was my understanding from some families that the roof at Wayland is leaking.
Nobody told me it was leaking.
Is that accurate, or is that not true? So I just want to make it clear that it's a brand-new roof under warranty. It should not be leaking. I'm just hoping
good point.
that's not the
It's a 30-year warranty, by the way.
Great. So if we could make sure that
And I need to
that's
talk to
addressed.
Gilbane about that, so I need to know if these things are leaking. So,
Thank you.
all right,
Thank you.
I'll make sure
Mr.
that they're
Chairman?
aware of that.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Can I?
Rod?
John, when did you say the occupancy was 219? June of 219?
June of 2019.
I thought it was originally 2018.
No.
No, this is 2018, only 1 year.
2019, as opposed to 20, so it was never 2020, it was always 2019. Got it.
Right.
And my
Initially, we were looking
we're not
at
going to
March.
go, okay.
But we're
So-
not going to move
but,
We're not going to move in until the 1920 year.
yeah. So
Okay.
we'll have, we had a little bit of a hiccup with the architect, so we've got
Yeah, I
that
remember that.
resolved, and we're moving forward on that, so.
And my second question was, this work with the roofs and the HVAC and the health and safety, was that all part of the original bond offering? Because I know we didn't do all of the bonding yet. Was that part of the original bond or only a portion of it?
That was all part of the original RIDE application, and they...
But in terms of the bonding that went out 3 months ago.
We only went out for 36 million.
Right, so is all of that, is some of that for, in other words, is the health and safety all part of the first bond? Okay.
It's all part of...
So it's not staggered with both?
Right.
Okay.
It's all part of that, right.
Okay. Any other questions of Jen? All right, next item.
All right, I would like to ask Mrs. Seitzinger just to speak very briefly about the Fall Festival that took place on Saturday. I apologize that I wasn't able to attend. I was at a family funeral, but I understand it was great, so I'd like her to just speak to that.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to tell you that I did attend on Saturday. It was a great event. So all of the elementary schools were represented and the 2 middle schools, and it was extremely well attended, and Dr. Flew also attended. Different times. It was great because we were all there at different times, which was great. But wonderful, wonderful turnout, and I believe from one of the parents that organized it, she told me that the schools will receive at least $700 each. But more importantly, I think it was just a great community event. Like, it was just wonderful to see families engaged and happy, and police and fire were there, and just lots of fun. It was extremely hot, but I really enjoyed being a small part of that, and I did tweet about it.
You, Louise.
Please check out my tweets.
Yeah. I think it was great. Stopped by there myself, and I couldn't believe the number of people, and the people who it was very well organized too. Excellent. Yeah.
They do plan on doing that again and continuing it next year.
Okay. Also, on my superintendent's report, I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. and Mrs. Dexter on the first day of school at Wayland Elementary School, out in the play yard as we were welcoming everyone to school. And it was after that that I received an email from Mr. Dexter. He owns Dexter Training on Mineral Spring. And he shared a great idea with me, that it's something that he wants to spearhead and lead, and I'm very appreciative for it. But I'd like to introduce Mr. Dexter, and he can share some information about a 5K proposal he has.
My wife Laura and I have owned Dexter Training Concepts for 13 years, going on 14.
I guess it works out, huh?
We've been residing in North Providence for over 15 years as well. We have 2...
questions, anyone?
One question. So if we're going forward with this in terms of working with the school department, would we be working with the assistant superintendent's office?
I think so, and also, we need to sort of restart our district wellness committee. So I think that you would be an awesome participant on that committee if you would join us for that.
Great.
And I think that that would be a great sort of avenue for channeling all of this, and we certainly appreciate your support. We welcome it. We're very grateful.
And I'll speak for Mr. Dexter because he sponsors and coaches in our little league, and he and his wife are very involved in the community, so he's a perfect person. And with his knowledge of health and training, this is a real good match.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So if you reach out to either of us at central office, we can certainly sit down and have a planning meeting and figure out, who we want to have on the team to help you, because it's certainly no easy feat to plan a whole 5K. So we can certainly help you out with that and get our teams together and get going on that. And we're appreciative. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Good idea, by the way.
Okay, be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the financial report as submitted.
So moved with the discussion question.
Motion by Ms. Picard, second by Mr. Iannetta. Discussion?
John, I noticed, or Bridget, I also noticed that under the purchase professional and technical services, we have some expenditure increases around special ed out of district. We were getting the enrollment every week, so we could track the out of district and know how many students and the weekly enrollment of all the schools. Is it possible to get that back so we can monitor? So when we do get back into our budget season, which is happening faster and faster, we can take a look at overall expenditures, because I'm going to guess, John, with the budget impasse, how much, I know we're hoping we're going to get that money back, but if not, how much were we short with the budget impasse for the month of July?
Oh, that money's come back, so.
All of it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're all set. As far as the numbers, we just got the bills for the voc ed. So we got Davies, we got the Med in. We're starting to get most of the charter schools in now. I think there's a couple that I need to look at, so I've got those all updated. I was just talking to Chris. I know Jane's going to get me the numbers for the out-of-district. We're probably, I think now we're at around 56. So I'm going to plug that into my tuition analysis to see where we're going to stand on that number.
And did we have any students enroll in Providence for P-TECH? I mean, enroll in North Providence for P-TECH from other districts, like?
We have one student.
Okay, so if we could just get that weekly enrollment so we could sort of keep track.
All the enrollment?
Yeah, if you talk to the data manager, she used to send it to us.
All the enrollment, though?
Yeah.
The whole enrollment?
The Excel spreadsheet with all of it at the bottom. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Ronnie did. Okay. Discussion, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the homeschool requests as submitted.
Motion by Ron Iannetta, seconded by Mr. Mr. Andriozzi. Discussion, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, ayes have it, so voted. Let the record show that Mr. Cataldi voted nay. Anyone else? Okay.
Ready? Okay. Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve field trip requests as submitted. Motion
by Mr. Andriozzi, seconded by Mr. Iannetta. Discussion, all those in favor? Opposed, ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to deny the certified teacher leave of absence request as submitted.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Picard, seconded by Mr. Andriozzi. Discussion, all those in favor? Opposed, ayes have it, so voted. Next.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the bids as submitted.
Mr. Andriozzi,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Who else? Who seconded? Mr. Iannetta and Mrs. Picard. Discussion, all those in favor? Opposed, ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the resignations as submitted.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Iannetta, seconded by Mrs. Picard. Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, so voted.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the leave of absence as submitted.
Okay, we need a motion. Motion by Mr. Andriozzi, seconded by Mr. De Silva.
Thank you.
Discussion?
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, I would like to recuse myself for the third. Lynn Fontaine, Secretary of Stephen only, please.
Mrs. Picard would like to be recorded as recusing herself on the third person, Lynn Fontaine. Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the appointments as submitted.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Iannetta, seconded by Mrs. Picard. Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, so voted.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to remove the hold on the use of the Stephen Olney Gym as a facility for use of property requests.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Picard, seconded by Mr. Who seconded it? Iannetta? Discussion, all those in favor? Opposed, ayes have it, so voted.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the 2017-18 school committee meeting schedule as submitted.
Motion by Mr. Iannetta, seconded by Mr. Palmieri. Discussion, all those in favor? Opposed, ayes have it, so voted. Okay, there are no requests to address the committee, and we're on to, yes, use of property, yep.
Okay, be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the use of property requests as submitted.
Mr. Palmieri?
I will vote to approve them. I'd just like to say something to Chris, he was here last week, and...
Excuse me, we need a second. Seconded by Mr. Who?
So,
Mr. Cataldi and also Mr. Silva. That's okay. Discussion.
okay, he came last time and we denied you, but I just wanted to explain that the way the presentation was given, first I want to apologize the way we kind of abruptly treated you. So, I just want to explain that we really don't like giving out the high school. That's like the gym we don't like to do. So we are going to do it for you, but there will be a fee to everybody who wants to rent the high school at this point. So it's minimal, it's not really that much, it's $150 for the night. So it's not going to be just for you, it will be for everybody. So we just kind of agreed that there is a maintenance man is there and his lights is, it's expensive, it's kind of like a break even. But we don't like to give the gym out at the high school, but we will give it out. So. There wouldn't be, but I don't know if there's any available.
There's a fee, there's a smaller fee.
There's a smaller fee, but I mean, we could probably work on that if it was any other gym. But I don't know if any are available because the youth basketball league uses it every night. But you could check with Lori Fallon if there's anything available. Okay? Yeah. Well, we pay the janitors, they get like $35 an hour, they're there for 4 hours. It's $140 right there. So they're gonna pay too. There's something the gym just has a high maintenance, and every time we do the floors every so often, it's just something that we just feel as though it's fair. We don't want to refuse you, and we don't want to treat you unfairly by charging you and not charging somebody else. So
That's going to be at the fee for the high school only. So if we can find some time, at some other time at the gyms, that's different. That the janitors are there, I have no problem with it personally. I don't think anybody else here does. Okay? And we can discuss it afterwards. If you have a problem, you can talk to any one of us.
There may be other gyms available. Okay? All right. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the list of bills as submitted.
Motion by Mr. Andriozzi, seconded by Ms. Dianetta. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Be it resolved that at the recommendation of the superintendent, the North Providence School Committee consider and vote to approve the minutes for the previous meetings as submitted.
Gina? That's your baby.
I'd like to approve and seal the executive session minutes for August 23rd. Make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Picard, seconded by Mr. De Silva. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
And I'd like to approve the general session minutes for August 23rd as well.
Motion by Mrs. Picard, seconded by Mr. De Silva. Discussion, all those in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it, so voted. Next item.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, and seconded by Mr. De Silva. Meeting's adjourned at